Good morning, everybody. It's Becky and Scott here at the little house, the cottage that we stay in. And I did the ceiling yesterday, so it's not that shiny gripper primer. And you can still kind of see where the patch is in the ceiling, but it's not like it was when we moved in, a great big crack with stuff falling from it. So the ceiling is done. And I've primed all of the windows and stuff. And I'm going to start painting on trim, and I think I'm going to start on this long wall, because while I work on the rest of it, this wall can be drying, and by the time I finish all the woodwork, I can hit this with some paint this afternoon. But I think what I'm going to do is get Scott to help me, and we're going to move some more of this furniture out of here so we don't have to dance around it quite so much. Ooh. I did all of this other work with all of this in here, and I'm tired of it. So I think that's the first thing we're going to do. We'll move out everything except the printer, because it's attached to the cable and the internet and everything. So anyway, and you can get around it. That's the plan of the day. Janet, I'm taking you along. You said you wanted to be dragged along. So we'll come back with progress reports throughout the day. See you later. All right, well, Scott was next door getting the guy to come over and give us an estimate on the trees. He noted, the forest guy, the tree guy, noted that there's a couple trees growing into the foundation of the garage. And so he's going to give us an estimate on removing those. But while he was gone, I moved out Scott's work table and that dresser that was there. And Scott said, there's no reason for us to really have that plastic in here in the way. So he's taken that outside. So now I have room to move. And this is a very small room. Yeah, I mean, it's just a very tiny, I guess it was like a second bedroom for them. And the doorway into the bathroom used to be right there for this room. And it was just that narrow little door, and we took it out, and Scott fixed the wallboard, and I think he did a really good job. And I am going to, like I said, start with the long wall baseboard and work my way around. And we'll be back when I'm ready to put paint, probably, or give you an update on the painting of the wallboard. Not wallboard, but the base. I can't remember. I call it baseboard. Scott calls it something else, and he would correct me if he's here, but he's not here. So, you know, the board that runs along the wall, base of the wall, and then all the trim and stuff, and we'll be back. All right, guys, we are taking kind of a lunch break, and we've got the trim all painted. I think Scott's done with the windows. I did the baseboards and around the door, and he did both windows. So we're eating our lunch now. I'm having a pear, and we had 6-inch sub section left over from yesterday. So we each had half of that, and he's having a banana and I'm having a pear. So we're just grabbing a quick lunch, and we're hoping by the time we finish eating, he's gonna use the brush, and he's going to cut in on the corners and around the trim pieces, and I'm going to start rolling the walls.
So to recap, there used to be a door there.
And there used to be a big gaping gap down the middle of the ceiling on both sides of the fan. So that's all fixed. Trim is back on.
I had this window completely torn out, the trim off of it, and did a bunch of drywall work. So,
I gotta get a second coat on this window.
and then we can start cutting in with our field, the main field paint, the main field color.
Well, while you finish that up, I could start cutting in that far corner behind you and along the ceiling and start the cutting in on this big wall.
And on all of the outlets and switches, there were just these big gaps, these horrible air leaks, just terrible drafts in here. So I sealed all that up. So I'm hoping this room will be a little cozier. Of course, I'm gonna
take all the
Vent covers.
vent covers and spray paint them nice so that they're nice even color. That's all I have to
Because
say.
right
about-
now, they're two different colors.
As Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that.
So we'll be back. All right, guys, Scott still had a little bit to paint on the second window. So while he finished that up, I did the cutting in. And for those that don't know what cutting in is, it's where you cut in or you paint along your trim and your ceiling bits. So I did the long wall. See, I did all along the ceiling. And I do the corners too, because you can't get the rollers in a corner. And I did all along the baseboard. And Scott is taking over cutting in, and I'm gonna start rolling this paint on. I might leave you guys playing for a little bit while I do this. I'm gonna raise you up so you're not looking at the box on the printer. How about that?
I'll say bad words.
You do not say bad words. Be a good boy.